most important event, the Cairo International Book Fair. What other important activities taking place for boosting cultural ties between Egypt and Greece?
In the book fair also, aside the round tables in our pavilion, we had a special corner for the children. So we invited a writer, Greek writer, who organized workshops for the children, Greek and Egyptian, and she invented a way to communicate with the children called paint telling. It's storytelling through painting and performing the Egyptian mythology, the Greek mythology, and making like new stories, mixing both mythologies. Also, we have an exhibition in our pavilion. We used the augmented reality, and we have put photos of artworks, masterpieces from the Greek museums, and with the augmented reality using the tablets, every ancient art piece can emerge a modern art piece from the modern contemporary art. So this is how we are trying to animate our pavilion during the exhibition.
Yes. Now, Egypt and Greece, of course, being, one of the oldest and most flamboyant civilizations in history. How do you see the meeting between these two great civilizations, and how do you, at the Hellenic Foundation for Culture, focus on that point? These are two great civilizations.
True.
They have much in common, I'm sure.
Very common. Yeah. They are very Mediterranean, both of them. So through the commercial exchange it started, but for example in Alexandria we really feel this Greek-Egyptian identity because of the 300 years of the Ptolemaic era since Alexander the Great till Cleopatra 7. So this is the incarnation of the relation and the bond between the two civilizations. And it ended up by creating from Alexandria the center of the world for science, philosophy, new inventions. We have the ancient library of Alexandria, and the pharaohs was the symbol of this enlightenment. And this enlightenment had his revival by Muhammad Ali and the era of the Renaissance, where the Greeks came back to Egypt, and they helped and contributed in the making of the modern Egypt. So this is also the era where Cavafy, you were talking about Cavafy, where
yes.
He was living in Alexandria, and he's very important. He's Alexandrian Greek poet, very important all over the world, and he's one of the poets the most translated for many, many languages.
How do you see the initiative Return to Roots? How do you see the importance of such an initiative? And do you believe it's going to attract more Greek tourists to Egypt?
The initiative of Nostos. It was really very interesting because it touched many Egyptian Greeks. So when they left, after starting from the 50s and 60s, they left from Egypt. They had nostalgia all these years. They had too much stories to tell. They had like memories in every place, like the school, the home, the club, the church. So they had these memories, and they couldn't believe it. They had the chance to recall these memories and to calm this nostalgia by coming to Egypt and visiting their places. And even our minister, Nabila Makram, she was looking over for them, like she would go to Greece, where are the Egyptian Greek? If they say they are in Australia now, who were in Alexandria, she goes to Australia to find them and participate in the initiative. So it was really very important initiative for the cultural diplomacy overall.
Yes, and I'm sure that Nostos, or the Greeks, return to their roots here in Egypt, especially in Alexandria,
yeah,
is something that is there to stay. I want you to talk to, and you've been, of course, to Athena.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell me about what you found when you were there. Did you meet with any Greeks who used to live in Alexandria? I mean, Alexandria was their home. The word el-Khawaga was said about Greeks who were living in Alexandria. Whenever we said here in Egypt, like this is the foreigner. So
Yeah.
the foreigner was the Greek who
Yeah.
had his business in Alexandria, his school, his
Yeah.
his life,
Yeah.
his club, his life was
Yeah.
there are Greek clubs all around Alexandria.
Yeah.
Greek
True.
clubs for rowing here in Egypt, for instance, and other Greek restaurants, and So talk to me about what you personally found when you met with Greeks who are from Egyptian origin. Yeah.
Let me tell you that there were an important number of Greeks born in Alexandria,
Yeah.
and they have never been in Greece before leaving Egypt.
Yeah.
They said it's our country. We don't know what Greece is looking like. So it was really hard to leave their life here and go back to Greece. But when I went to Greece, it was really like I feel home. I really feel home. It was very unique for me, this experience, because it's not easy to feel this feeling in any other country, but we are very similar on the cultural level. Even the expression, the humor, the sense of humor, the food,
The Mediterranean
the music,
link,
the
I guess.
Mediterranean, very similar. Like Mediterranean people, they love life, food, music, dance. This is the aspect very common between us. And for sure, Alexandria is a very dreamy word for any Greek. When you say Alexandria, it's a very dreamy word, like Alexander the Great, Ptolemaeus I, Cleopatra, and then
The
Cavafy.
Alexandria they lived in for in the 1900s. And then
Yes, and even during the Ptolemaic era,
Yeah.
Greek was the official language of Alexandria.
Yeah.
So that's why we feel like we belong very much to this civilization. And in Greece, when I met some people and I said, first, I'm from Alexandria, they start to tell me memories. I have this key.
Second home.
Yeah. They show me like many. I have this chain. It was my grandfather, and he offered me from Egypt, from Cairo, from Alexandria. So I started to collect stories from Greeks who were living in Egypt, and I met them by coincidence in Greece.
Okay, Rotane, of course, this important event, the annual Cairo International Book Fair, this year it's different in many aspects. As a visitor, how do you see this event this year?
This year is different just because of maybe the COVID, how we are trying to be protective and at the same time not to cancel this important event. So this is the challenge, and I'm so glad that we overcame this challenge with this success that I can feel by the end of the fair. And I'm really happy by being the guest of honor because it's a big light on Greece, like a focus on Greece. And I hope we can collect the results of this cooperation during the year, not only for 2 weeks guest of honor, but guest of honor for the whole year of collaboration, cooperation, bilateral between Egypt and Greece on all economic, cultural, political levels.
Yeah, we're almost now, as we talk with you, Rotane, almost at the midway point of the pavilion. So tell us about the most interesting things that you saw from visitors or who went to the Greek pavilion, and what do you want in the final few days here at the pavilion for it to achieve your aspirations as a representative of the Hellenic Foundation for Culture?
I was so glad by the young people, Egyptian public, who were interested to learn the language. And we have all the information either in Alexandria or in Cairo, the pamphlets of the center or the foundation to guide them from where they start, from where they can learn this language and how to know more about this this culture. They have the novels in Arabic to read about to discover the Greek life, because the novel takes you to the daily Greek life into their culture. So we try to guide them, and we are trying to spread this culture because it's very rich and very interesting. personally for me, and I'm really satisfied until now by the results. Many cooperation happened between the publishers here to translate new novels. We had some novels in Greek that we were looking for translators, Egyptian translators interested to cooperate, and we received many visitors from the publishers who want to collaborate and translate new novels. So it was really very successful for me until now.
But what attracted you to this culture and this language? What's so attractive about it? Is it because similar to the Egyptian life and way, or what is the most thing that attached you to this culture?
When I started to learn Greek, for me it was my identity. I'm Alexandrian, and to know more about my history, the history of Alexandria, I had to start from the foundation, like Alexander the Great, and knowing that Greek was the official language. So for sure I have to learn this language to have more sources and references and to know more about this culture. And then with the comeback during the 20th century, I had to learn this because I feel I belong to this. So it's a very personal, internal feeling that I was missing something very important in my identity, so I have to develop and work on it. So I have to talk this language and to approach these people because I'm a part of it, and or my city also was a part of it one day, and we are trying to develop this more.
So I want to ask you a question. You speak 4 languages, right?
Yeah.
Arabic, English, French, and Greek.
Yeah.
So which is the easiest and which is the toughest? I know this is a tough question. I know.
No,
but
not
which
at
is
all.
the easiest
Not
for
at
you,
all. No,
and
no,
which
no.
is the toughest for you between the 4 languages?
Arabic is my native language, so very easy. French is my first foreign language. All my studies, school, university.
So it's easy.
So and then masters, like 18 years studying in French, very easy for me. English is like
You
the
speak
air
very
in
fluently, by the way.
like the air in
Yeah.
So English is fine also.
Yeah, very
And
easy.
Greek is my passion.
Okay.
So I really love all of them, and my project was to talk all the Mediterranean languages, like after the Greek, the Italian, the Spanish, Turkish, Hebrew. I will try because I really feel very Mediterranean. So there's no toughest. It's my passion, even if the Greek is tough. It's my
Well, I'm
passion.
sure since you said that you definitely can go to the Italian. And
Yeah.
Certainly the Italian is very close to the
Yes,
French, I guess.
yes.
Yeah.
Going back to the Greek culture, and if you speak about the food,
Yeah.
what's common between both the Greek and the Egyptian food? I
Many
believe there are
things.
many things common.
Many things, even many names like moussaka. It's the same recipe of moussaka. Dolma is mahshi. So it was the same cuisine where their unique touch, like
Fish, of course.
the fish,
The
of
way of
course.
cooking fish.
Yeah, and olive oil, very important. Like it's the sign of being very generous. So when we add more olive oil, we are very generous family. So we add more and more. Sometimes it's very over, but the food is very common between the Mediterranean.
Indeed. Well, I guess this was a very nice and interesting discussion here. We enjoyed it really, Rotane. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rotane Khaled, a representative for the Hellenic Foundation for Culture here in Egypt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rotane.
Thank you for this
Thank you,
invitation.
Rotane,
It was
very
an honor
much.
for me. Thank you so much.
Now moving to a quick break, so please stay tuned.